Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. It's feckin' goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Sip, sip. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. It's feckin' goo. Painting me, painting you. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. That's it, Myro. You marvelous monkey, you. Painting goo. 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 Painting goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Let's feckin' goo. Painting goo. Hi! Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Oh, gross. Painting goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. So beautiful. Indeed. A beautiful intro.
I'm heading.
Oh, you disgusting bitch. You interrupted the very end of my intro. How dare you? And how dare you? Welcome you to Paintingu, you glorious Japanites, you. You must excuse today's frame rate. I attempted to fix it before the stream, but alas, I have neither the energy, interest, nor the time to be vexed by such things, so for those of you who only listen to this painting stream. Today you are blessed, for you do not have to witness the choppiness, this vexing fucking... Look at it, look at it, look at it. As a gamer, this fucks with my mind. If it's not 60 frames, what is it? I hate it so. The only thing that gets away with being less than 60 frames is Bloodborne. Right. Today, we begin a new Paintingu. So that means I have to get out the map and the hat. And with any luck, the hat will this time provide me with something a bit more interesting than some irons and some bitch holding an umbrella. Marshal Irons, how I will forget thee so. Horifeku, the rag. Parpurpur. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it was, what I really don't get is like, it was like this before I even started streaming. It's like the camera can't like register life right now or something. Like my camera's having an off day. I don't know, like, you know, it's like, it's just blatantly obvious that I'm not like in 60 frames, like, do you know what I mean? But it's not like unwatchable. Do you know what I mean? Like it's nearly there. It's nearly there, you know. It's nearly really fucking gay. But it's Friday. You know, I'll just fire off a good solid goo and be done with it. Perhaps I can fix it over the weekend. I might have to do many things over the weekend, considering yesterday's streamu of the Coninator painting goo was deleted from our existence. Thanks to the YouTube sodomites. The sodomites at YouTube and their algorithm deemed yesterday's episode unworthy of dissemination through the internet. Why? Because I said some no-no words. Like, vaccines could possibly vril you in your sleep. I don't fucking know. I mean, like, watch, they'll fucking cut me off right now. Even though at any given time there's only ever like 10 people watching live and 30 fucking views total on a Painting Goo episode, because I literally have like the smallest little tight-knit crew of fans you've ever seen in your life. But no, Painting Goo is not allowed beyond the internet because of medical misinformation. Give me a fucking break, you appalling hypocrites. How much absolute fucking hypocritical bullshit is, like, can you fucking, whatever, doesn't matter. There's no point in bitching about it, you know? Was it? Fucking, why complain? Nobody's listening. You are here for tunes, you are here for funny looking painting goos. That is why you are here. You're not here to listen to me bitch and moan about it. Well, sometimes, you know, I mean, like, I quite enjoy listening to Big Bear fucking like bitch and moan about life. It's cathartic. It lets me know I'm not the only one who feels that way. Constantly inundated by the demonic forces. No matter your situation. Right. I shall engage the tunes, and I shall grasp the map, and fucking consult our resident cartographer, Boris the Bear, who is ever present and stoic. Where are we going, and what are we going on this fine Painting Goo? So, Painting Goo set sail for yet another time. Episode 205, methinks? Season 2 of Painting Goo. And we have already had a stream deleted. We're doing well. Right. Where the fuck are we going? A number between 0 and 224. Put it in the chat. Do it now. If you have any honor, use your thumbs to direct the PEINTEINGU vessel across the realm. Where are we going? What are we going? Oh shit. Tobias, my feathery friend, you have narrowly avoided death for yet another time. The poor birdie is constantly being bashed. Right. Where are we going? 187 was the first number. Desmondo's quick as a flash. 187, 187, 187. Ah, España! We're off to Spain. Glorious! Where all the criminals in Ireland go to hang out. We're off to Spain. Where's Spain? 180. Spain's fucking... this end of Europe. Yes, there we go. España! Spain! So what do they say in Spain? Tonterías! Tonterías! Which means bullshit! Yes! Yes, there's a lot of that going around. There's so much bullshit in the realm, I can smell it in my sleep. Right. We are setting sail for Spain. The fucking hat's all the way over there. Oh, right! Defend her ass. Ugh. PEINTEINGU! Ah, timing! Ah, glorious timingu. Right. PEINTEINGU. I shall just do everything in my power to ignore the choppiness and the rag. The only rag I'm going to pay any attention to today is my royal rag, which I place upon my demi-divine knee in preparation for the goo. PEINTEINGU! Get that chi throwing. Your chi's not throwing. There's something wrong with you. Next door to Portugal. I've heard Portugal's gorgeous. You hear they made a Minecraft movie? Looks like the backside of a sick water buffalo. Made a Minecraft movie? Oh, fuck. Ugh, whatever. Apparently there's a Blade video game coming out. A Marvel Blade video game. I saw the trailer and I'm like, it's probably gonna be shit. I think the trailer was shite. Everybody's like, oh my god, this is so cool. Oh my god, this is cold as fuck. Oh my god, this is so fucking cool. It looks shite. If you know what Blade is and then you see that trailer, it's clearly for like 12-year-olds. And it's like, why are you pitching Blade to 12-year-olds? You know why. Any angle to get gay vampires going, you know? Right. Snatch! Number 1! Ah! Zombie! Glorious. Zombie! Is snatch number 1. Snatch number 2. Snatch! Oh, collateral damage. What's the fucking, what's this? What is this? A quantum computer? This is quantum PC, like... A quantum computer. I don't even know what what does a quantum computer look like? What does it entail? It's just like reels of copper and gold woven around silicon in the shape of a cock. used to fuck us all. I fucking hate iPhones. I've always hated iPhones, but now that I'm using one, I hate them even more. What I'm looking for. Google. Images. Quantum computer. Like, I was just gonna do, like, a fucking sci-fi looking, you know, orb fucking thing or something, like. But then you'll get niggas being like, that's not what a quantum computer looks like. It's just a computer. Oh no, never mind. Like, I went down a bit and I was just like... Oh my god, I was like spot on. Tons of gold, tons of wires, tons of copper. Actually looks pretty cool. Looks very sci-fi. Looks like a giant filament. It looks like they made the world's most complicated filament. It looks like you could just turn it on and like the light bulb is just going to be like the strength of 1,000 suns. But yeah, fair enough. I could totally create a quantum computer and then fucking have that like calculating how long this zombie's going to last or some shit. I don't know. Was Defenderoo enjoying some old Toby while writing some of these? What I did was I just did all the alphabet and then like I did a list, so it's like a load of words beginning with A, a load of words beginning with B, so on and so forth, like. And I got so much, like I had so many things that like when I rolled them all up into little balls and tried to put them in the hat, they didn't fit. So I had to put them in a bag and shuffle them and then like dole out a portion into the hat. And I was basically looking at it being like, well, at least like next time I need to reload the hat, I can literally just take out this like bag of shit, like and just reload the hat. So there is quite literally just a lot of random bollocks in it. Like I even had the female was beside me when I was making the list, and she was like looking up like list of Z words, you know, and like all this shit. Like it's hilarious. Right, finer snatch. Snatch! Oh, that was green. That was green as fuck. Peas! Peas in a pod. Peas. A zombie eating peas instead of brains, perhaps. I have no idea. Spain. Spania. Right, what's an iconic Spanish... Give me an iconic Spanish building or something, like... I'm just flinging shit today. I'm catching up on Owen's stream, and like the synchronicities are hilarious. Like the way he's just like having a bit of an emotional meltdown with the stress of everything. Like, and I'm just like, dude, I feel you. Like the whole thing. Like, why? What's the point? Why even goo? Why goo? You know. But we goo. We goo regardless. 'Twas a momentary madness. Who said that? What was that out of? Oh, Dawn of War. That's what it was. Your unit's morale would get broken and they'd like retreat and scatter from combat. And then when they regain the morale, they'd be like, it was a momentary madness. It's like one of the fucking funniest things I've ever seen in my life. My apologies for my temporary madness. I suppose this is a good way to put it, like, you know. Hey, ha! Ha! What was I looking for? Oh yeah. Cougar! Give me Spain! Show me Spain! Right, Spanish... I'll just type in Spain first and see what comes up. PEINTEINGU. Yeah, Spain's gorgeous. Oh, that's a nice castle. Fuck it, we'll go with this. Spanish castle, what's this? 5 of the best cities and places to visit in Spain. Yes, but what is it? Is this the Spanish embassy or something? Ugh! Some of these buildings are gorgeous. PEINTEINGU. PEINTEINGU. It's PEINTEINGU. Jesus. I seriously think like all of this like rock marble shit that they're like, how did they carve that and all, like, you know, and it was like, oh, it's master craftsmen and all, like, I totally think a lot of those fucking statues and castles and all this shit like they're just like molds, you know. They just had like a load of fucking liquid, like, what do they call them, like what's that, poly, it's like instead of an alloy for metal, it's the same for a geopolymer, and like you could just like use sound to solidify the liquid geopolymer in whatever particular, like, you know, arrangement that you want based on the sound, you know. Because like when you look at castles and stuff, like the repetition and the patterns in them and how perfect everything is like, it would totally make sense if it was like the whole cymatic shit, where like just like you can have a lot of sand or like grains of rice on like a fucking plate, and then you start like vibrating and you're like bam bam bam, fucking playing some EDM shit or whatever, like, and then you get all these patterns and shapes and stuff, like how, like, it would totally make sense that you could like 3D print or like reverse 3D print a whole fucking castle out of like some kind of you know, liquid material comprised of all these, like, you know, fucking, like, you know, like fine particles that when you like you use fucking, you know, these like you know, the fucking tuning forks and shit and these staffs and all this stuff, like, you totally just could be like, you know, wow, 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 and like modulate and like oscillate like the vibration and like watch all the liquid like bounce and move and shit. Like, you know, when you're looking at the visual representation of sound and it's all these like, it's like a graph, you know, it's all these like spikes and drops and spikes and drops and shit and waves and all this stuff, like, well, like if you could like maintain a pattern for long enough for the thing to solidify, and then maybe like all you have to do after that is like carve out the excess, you know, and all these like marble floors and stuff could just be like other fucking maybe like, you know, slabs of marble, or maybe it's fake, like maybe it is like a form of geopolymer that they just like melt down and then pour on the floor, you know. Yeah, Spanish galleons are gorgeous looking. I hear they have pretty churches. They have some epic looking churches by the looks of it. Like, there's some of these things are crazy looking. Well, I don't know what the thing I'm looking at right now is, but it's a really cool looking castle. A lot of fucking Spanish flags outside it and shit, like. Yes, yes, crap for PEINTEINGU. Yes, crap for PEINTEINGU. If you're not crapping for PEINTEINGU, you have no honor, and your ancestors will rook upon you with great shame. Right, so we are off to Spain, and we are painting a zombie, a quantum computer, and peas. See, that's just saying that is funny. There was literally nothing funny, in my opinion, about going to the Marshall Islands and painting a female, an umbrella, and some Uggs. There was no, like, juxtaposition. There was no, like, what the fuck factor. There was, like, I just couldn't do it, like. Like, part of me isn't even artists putting it up on Instagram. Like, part of me is like, fuck that painting. I don't give a fuck about that painting. And watch, someone will want to buy that for 200 quid or something. Like, how funny would that be if I'm like, ah, it's fucking shit. Like, it's not, like, it's a looks like a child's drawing. They all look like child's drawings. Fuck you. Like, It'd be so funny if somebody was like, "Oh, that's deadly looking. I want it." Like, oh god, God, give me strength. Pour it wet and make it any shape. Castles probably built. The statues, I don't know. Yeah, like don't get me wrong. I know a lot of the shit I say fucking sound completely outlandish. Like sometimes when I think, well, like, it's because I think in a fucking limitless sense. Because like the way I look at it is, I just boil it down to a very fundamental, like, fact of like, okay, so we've been lied to about like pretty much everything in an attempt to keep us in this box, this matrix of thought forms and stuff, so that we don't deviate too much, so that we're way easier to control and manage and all this shit. And it makes perfect sense when you look at it, like, um, makes total sense. And it's like, because of that alone, like even just that realization, that level of awareness, I'm like, okay, so like practically anything you can think of is probably possible. We just don't know how and stuff like that. Like, um, Machu Picchu was probably poured in place, then solidified. Yeah, because you see the fucking, like, the way they all just like have this kind of staggered patterns and all these like perfect geometric patterns and stuff, and it's like, don't get me wrong, that would be achievable. You'd be able to line everything up, even by eye. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're good enough, like, some people are good enough at that shit. Like, fucking snooker players, like, are ridiculous at just, like, singing angles and stuff, and predicting how a ball is going to hit off another ball. Like, there are people that, given the practice and given the proper time and relationship with a given medium, they become to understand the medium and the materials and the concept of the game or whatever you're trying to do, like, to such a degree that it becomes second nature to them. So like, you could easily have dudes who are like able to just like look at an area and go, okay, well, I'm gonna put like a fucking pillar here, 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 and here, and we'll lay a foundation and build this and like a fucking Lego house. But when you look at the logistics of all the things of like, okay, what you see, that's another thing, is like, you're still thinking, oh well, they had horse and carts and stuff and all like that. If you're like, well, surely that would take a lot of time, and like all this rock, and where'd you get all this rock from, and all these materials, and like, the scaffolding, the side of the scaffolding you would have to build structures this high and stuff. I mean, it's not like they had like cranes and shit. I mean, they probably had like forms of cranes, winches and stuff like that. Like, but still, a lot of these structures were allegedly built with like wooden scaffolding and like, fucking, like, you're talking hemp canvas, wooden scaffolding, metal tools, sure, but like, you're not like, until you get to the industrial era, like, and that shit's already all been built for like hundreds of years allegedly. Like, it's like, how the fuck did they do that shit? Like, and it makes total sense if you just had a group of people who were like able to build shit, and they thought of things in a completely different matrix, you know, where they were aware of things like cymatics and resonance and frequencies and different forms of energy, and like, how can you manipulate and interact with the ether and all this kind of stuff, and like stuff that, like, fucking I've spoken about, and like fucking when like Owen did that thing about the book there the other day with the you are the placebo. Like, that's the stuff I've been saying on this stream for ages. Like, now and again when I go on a rant, and I'm like, I think we could fucking do Dragon Ball Z shit. It's just, it's like, it's this line of code that has been like like the film The Matrix is a really eye-opening thing, because it's a very at the time, it was a really like contemporary way to like show people an ideological concept that may or may not be true, and it was really relatable. He just works in this office, everything is grey and dull, he's in the concrete jungle, he's just wearing the suit, doing the job in the cubicle. What he has a passion for, and when he really does, he does it home, and it keeps him up at night, which is like, makes your normal life like even more like me the other day, like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, when I just have all these other things, like, because I'm not the breadwinner in the relationship, and Emma's gone to work most of the day, I have to like you know, clean stuff up and like make sure that drain out the back is fucking done and all. And then like given the weather and the time, if like, you know, well, I wouldn't be doing the garden anyway, but like, you know, like there's house chores to be done, you know, dishwasher, etc. Like, you know, so like in between doing a workout and having a breakfast and fucking all that stuff, I'm also doing all of this female shit, you know, which a lot of it I would be doing if I lived on my own anyway, you know, but there's more of it because there's two of us, like, you know. I mean, she sees the washing with her, she lets it pile up, it's hilarious. um like I remember when I was like, "Did you watch the kimono headband yet?" And she's like, "No." It's hilarious. As if it's like this really important thing. Like I just think that stuff is really funny. Like, but having the time to like do what you really want to do in between the things that you like, you know or think that you have to do, like, you know, and someone in my position who has tried to turn his passion into a profession, like technically successfully, like I have made money doing this, but it's like nowhere near enough to like live off of yet. Like, and it's been like what I started painting in 2020, like around when the time COVID hit, and I started making money fairly quickly within a few weeks. Actually, like I'd sold a few paintings and stuff for a couple of £100 a pop, like, and I have made like accumulatively over the last few years, like I've made like a few grand. People have asked me for commissions. They've really appreciated the commissions. They fucking love them. Like they frame them and put them on walls and shit. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I have people in my life through the bear community, especially, that have like one of my old childhood friends has a painting that I did for him of like two whales and a Japanese kanji symbol in the middle. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I love doing. Is just like, I suppose, in like, without sounding too woo woo or gay, is like I love just making beautiful things. Like I love creating things. I love making stuff. Like even when I'm doing the fucking sketching the turtles while I'm in bed at night, you know, before it, like I'm just like, and this morning as well, morning coffee and cigarette, and I'm just like catching up on Owen streams and sketching turtles and stuff. Like I love it. Like, you know. And it is like it's something I've been struggling with a while now, where like because I'm not making like a few grand a month, you know, which is like typically a basic wage, you know, is like over under in and around like, you know, 1,500 to 2 grand a month or whatever. Some people I know are making way less. Some people are making a shitload more. Like, do you know what I mean? I see fucking artists on Instagram that are like, you know, fucking getting like 4 grand for every painting that they do, and they put out a painting a week or some shit, like, you know. And it's like, I do get jealous. I do get must be nice, you know, but I don't get must be nice in the negative way. I look at guys like Pinstripe Chris and fucking, you know, like Hector Turnock or whatever his name is, or fucking, you know, or Thomas Elliott, and I'm just looking at these things, and they inspire me, and they motivate me, and they give me that sense of like, oh man, like I can't wait to be there, you know, where like you just have a following, you know, that's like enough to support you, you know. And like, don't get me wrong, I mean, you guys are fucking, I couldn't ask for more, like, do you know what I mean? And I don't like intent, like, you know, in an aware sense, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't ask anything of you guys because of the love you show for me, and you show up all the time, and fucking like 2 Acres bought me paint, fucking Surrey Delta Bears fucking bought me, like, you know, or not bought me, fucking has bought, like, you know, I was turning around and be like, oh, you should make that a sticker and I'll buy it, like, you know, boom, done, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I do like being of service, you know. I think that's one of the reasons why I was so profoundly angry and frustrated the last 6 odd years or 7 years. Is because like I had accepted the reality of just being a hard worker, having a 9 to 5 job and shit like that, and I was like, you know, well, as long as I work hard, then everything will be okay, you know. And it's not the truth. It's like you can work your ass off in a certain context, and it will like mean like very little in. Do you know, you can always look at it in a positive way, and it was like, well, at least I learned this, or like, you know, at least taught me that, or whatever, or at least I had time to experience this. But like there are scenarios where like you are just wasting your time, you know. And I felt like that like multiple times over the last couple of years, where like, and oddly enough, not with painting goo, you know. I never feel like I'm wait. I feel like I should do painting goo like all day, every day, you know. Um, and maybe I will just start doing that. I don't fucking know. Like part of me is like, you know, with the phone and the cameras and shit like that. Like I've had serious like logistical issues with being like, okay, so I can't do it this way now because this is broken or this isn't working or whatever, so I have to do it a different way. I have to upload this way. Okay, instead of recording, I need to take photos instead of like, which isn't like, they're not big things in their own. They might take 15 minutes to solve, but sometimes, like this morning, something just stops working or needs an update or some shit like that, and I'm like, oh fuck, all right, okay, I need to deal with that then, like, you know. And then like it's like a knock-on effect where like a few weeks down the line, a load of things will just hit you in one day, and you're just like, oh Jesus fucking Christ, I don't have time to do the stream today. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to catch up with this, blah blah blah, like, you know. And it does, it fucking gets you all the time. It's gotten to me like uh more than a few times in like this year especially, you know. Even though like I fucking like paint, like I've made enough money off of you guys giving me money for the stream to like literally the money I make from painting goo keeps painting goo going, so I'm like breaking even. That's great. It is, it's great, you know. I entertain you guys, you guys give me a fiver or a tenner here. By the end of the month the internet's paid for, which means I can keep streaming. It's literally like, that's where I am right now, is like on the like very, well, not very bottom obviously because I'm doing something, but like I'm very low on the tier of like um what milestone I'm at. Like I'm literally looking at the next like level of like, if I can make enough money with my art every month to not only just pay for the internet and keep doing what I'm doing, but also pay for groceries, that would be like 200 quid, you know, every 2 weeks or something, like back in the female's pocket, you know, which reduces her stress and all these things, like, you know. And then the next thing, I'll try to like pay for the rent, you know, so she only has to worry about her car and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to just like baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. But I've scattergunned it so much, like, you know. Just been like, I could do this and a that and a do this and the turtle t-shirts and fucking this, and it's like, it throws me way off. There are days, like, you know, fucking the last few weeks, I've been trying to just like, you know, boil it down. Just do a symmetrical, whatever about the turtles. Just do the stream, just do a symmetrical. Current symmetrical's looking pretty cool. Parts of it I really like. But the one I was doing on the big canvas was awesome looking, you know. And like, sure, I didn't pull a fucking bitch fit because of the stress and like fucking smash and rip that thing apart. And Japanese Ostrich Police Mark 1. But Japanese Ostrich Police Mark 2 is brilliant looking. You know, people really like it. I really like it. So even when you lose your shit and it looks like things are like, you know, fucking like, oh shit, like, you know, I'm stressed out, I'm under pressure, and I'm snapping. The thing I've learned over the last few years is like, that's okay. You know, because like a lot of people, myself included, a few times, like, you know, when you snap and you feel that intense like shame, and you're like, you start to get those voices in your head of like, see, look, you can't do this, you're weak, just give up, all this shit, like, you know. And I do have a strong enough will that I'm constantly just like, you know, oh, shut up, demons, you know. And I keep going and shit. But there's fucking there's like been at least one day a week for months now where I'm just like, fuck this shit, you know. Because it's like that meme where it's like, I get so much love and admiration from like the 30 odd people that interact with me, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want a big, like, I think the more people I have, the more I'll feel like, you know, an obligation and a responsibility to, like, you know, reply to everyone and interact with everyone and all that shit, like, do you know what I mean? And it's not feasible. You can't interact with like fucking not even 500 people in a day, let alone like 1 million subscribers or whatever. So I don't particularly like the idea of being disconnected from my, you know, viewers to such a degree and shit, like, you know. Like 100 strong is more than enough for me. Like, I mean, like, if we were all in a room together, that's a fuckload of people to be focused on one person for 2 hours, like, you know. And it's the awareness of stuff like that, like, do you know what I mean? Because like I did drama in school as a child, and I remember being able to hold the attention of like adults, You know, even if it is for like fucking 3 or 5 minutes while I'm running around with a bike helmet on singing a song. Do you know what I mean? It's like I know what I can do and I know what it is that I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? And like I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to entertain. I've always wanted to create. I've always wanted to like, make stuff and make people laugh and all this shit. And I'm good at it, like, which is why I'm fucking just plowing ahead. But there's this profound lesson where like that meme where it's Homelander sitting there, being like intensely, like murderously looking into the distance, and it's like me watching, pretty much like criminals buying their first buying their sixth Lamborghini and living in a $20 million mansion or something, while I'm trying to be a good person with my and barely able to make my rent. And it's like hard to escape, especially if you have a high level of awareness. I'm not saying I have a high level, but like, I've a above average level of awareness of like a lot of things. And there is that sense of like, what's the point? Because like it kind of feels like, because there's such a vast amount of other people out there that don't give a fuck, it's like, is it making a difference? It is. It is making a difference, I like, you don't get a message from someone being like, your streams have really made me feel better or whatever, and I was going through a rough period. Like, you don't get that if you're not doing the right thing. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, I feel ashamed that I forget the good times and focus on the bad, because I have a tendency to do that. And I would that like he feels ashamed, like in those moments where he's reading a letter and he starts crying because he's like, oh my god, this is so fucking, like, I really needed this is really good. Like, it's that shame that like, why am I letting this get to me, you know but it's like, the logical part of your brain is like, of course you're letting it get to you. This shit's insane. How could you not let like this utter insanity get to you? What are you supposed to just like fucking stroll through the fucking minefield that is life, with all these innocent people getting blown to bits around you, and then like, some people decide to like listen to you and follow you, and you're like, we can go this way and we won't get blown up, like, but you're just witnessing all this shit, and then some people start hating you, being like, you told me to go the wrong way and now my woman lost her legs or something. Like, it's like, I'm speaking in metaphors obviously, but like, the fact that there are people out there like me, like Owen, like fucking Chris Gardner, like Tom Barnett, like, and I'm not comparing myself to these people in the sense that I can imagine some people, oh, so you think you're like fucking, no, I'm such a small fish in a big sea. Do you know what I mean? And like, the only reason I fucking do this stream is because I am a bear and I'm in Owen's community, and like, it organically came about, it's not like I was like, I'm gonna be like Owen, and I don't want to be like Owen. Like, I don't want that fucking responsibility. Jesus Christ. Like, which is why I understand when you see the guy fucking like, are you fucking serious? It's like, I get it. Like, who the fuck would want to put up with that shit? You put all this effort in, and all you do, well, not all that happens. Like, it's not all that happens, but like, sometimes it feels like that. Is like, you do such a good thing, and you do all these good things, and all these people are so fucking pumped up and inspired and like, on all this shit. And then some days it just feels like it doesn't make a dent. Like, I felt like that in relationships. I felt like that in relationships where like just with one other person, where you put so much effort into trying to change yourself in an attempt to, have a better relationship with the other person, And like I'll take my mother for example. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I really checked my ego, and I like forgave her, and I did all this like, fucking psychologically, mentally quite difficult, like quite high level shit, given the age I was at the time, to be like, okay, I get it. I have to do this, and this. Even though it is incredibly difficult, it's going to be worth it. And it was. It was one of the most beautiful things I've done in my life so far, where I went from like just this toxic, hateful environment where all of us were miserable. It went from that to sitting down every evening and having a meal together and watching a movie, and like, and watching old movies that we used to watch together, and getting nostalgic and having like sincere moments with each other and stuff like that, and like long conversations and shit. Like, Weeks of that went out the fucking window when my mum turned around to me and said she'd gotten the vaccine. Watch, they're fucking gonna delete this stream again as well. Like, uh, she told me she got it, even though she had like basically told me that she wasn't going to get it, and that she was listening to the stuff I was saying and all. Like, because like I was saying the same stuff to my sister at the time. I was like, don't you fucking go near that shit. Like, do you know what I mean? This is like crazy. Like. And then lo and behold, all that shit comes out afterwards. And thankfully, my mother seemingly is like fine. But like everyone, I've heard tons of stories, and it's in those moments where you feel like your efforts have just gone complete. It's like the whole like sand in your hands kind of thing. It's just kind of like you were holding onto something like so fucking tightly, and it just didn't matter anyway. And it's incredibly demoralizing. But that is the lesson in that is that like it's my responsibility and it's my choice in myself to allow these things that when they happen, how it stimulates me is my decision. And it doesn't feel like that when you're grown up, and like even when you're fucking like you could be a grown adult and like you fucking somebody says that to you and you're like, that's crazy. Like there is a profound lesson in that when you realize that like the mind has the ability to like like something could happen and you get these like sensations all over your body, tightness in your chest, that uneasy feeling in your stomach, that feeling like you're gonna cry or whatever, like, do you know what I mean? And then there's other ones like for me, like I have a shit ton of anger, so like your fucking adrenaline spikes and you feel like you just have this overwhelming urge to just grab a hold of something and just crush it into oblivion or rip it apart at the seams and scream at the top of your lungs, like like you've fucking just like killed a wild boar attacking your village or something. You're just like, oh, like it's fucking overwhelming at times, but just like the thing I always think of is like I remember when I first learned how to do this with my hands, the whole fucking Vulcan thing where it's like live long and prosper and shit. Like when I was like obviously like a child, I was like, oh, this is really cool, but I had to like I couldn't do it at first. My fingers would keep like moving in a different way and they wouldn't like go like that. I couldn't like, because the muscle memory wasn't there. I had to train my nervous system to be like, no, these fingers, and then I started doing like shit like this and all, like like fucking try to like swap between them at high speeds and stuff and all, like, and you do weird shit like, because I've met people, I've met grown adults that can't do that. I've met grown adults that can't do that, like, do you know what I mean? And there's like loads of other stuff. It's not just shit like that. Like, it's like you come across loads of people who can't do. I'm not saying everybody. Well, I don't know. I mean, like a backflip or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Or like even a fucking throwing a punch. It's weird the type of things that you yourself would be like, oh, you just do this, and then someone else is like just completely incapable of doing it, right? I think that's like the key to everything. Like the whole placebo thing of like you are the placebo, where it's like that's why what Owen has done over the last couple of years is so fucking profoundly important in my, like, I'm sure loads of people agree with me, but like in my opinion, I'm not going to make that claim that like it is for a fact wholly important. Owen is this, whatever. He's just a comedian. What he did was really good, like, and it's sparked a lot of really good shit. But he's not the only one doing stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's not like we should all just be like, oh, Owen, like, do you know what I mean? Like, people who do that are fucking crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, absolutely fucking crazy. Like, it's this, like, this fucking lesson of what do you believe and why? Because that's really what it is when you get those days where you're like, oh man, like, should I be doing this? Am I wasting my time? Does anyone give a fuck? Like, does anyone like my turtle drawings? Like, fuck it. Like, it's like, I look up some of my paintings and I'm like, why hasn't anyone bought that? It's cool looking. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't charge $2,000 for my painting. But there's loads of reasons people haven't bought my shit. Nobody knows I exist. I haven't done enough marketing. Like, do you know what I mean? There's loads of things I'm doing wrong. There's loads of mistakes I've made. There's loads of reasons for these things. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not just being, nobody likes me. It's like, but that's how it feels sometimes because it's your experience and you're only experiencing certain things. And most of the time, like, you know, you have to get tunnel vision sometimes to do stuff. You have to focus, like, you know. So everything else goes out the window. And then everything else catches up with you. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? It's a choice. Those days, like, it's just like getting out of bed in the morning. The alarm goes off or whatever. I don't need an alarm, but, like, you know, like, you wake up, and I've had that choice time and time again every fucking day. It's like, okay, it's 7 o'clock. Okay, it's 6:30. Am I getting up? Am I going downstairs and doing a workout, or am I going to sleep for another hour because I feel tired? Because, like, I feel like I'm not up to it today. I feel like, you know, I just, like, I went to bed too late. I didn't get enough sleep. You know, I didn't get, like, even if I got sleep, I didn't get REM sleep because, like, I've slept for like 9 hours sometimes, and, like, I don't feel like fucking rested and shit, like, you know. And it's just a fucking choice. You're battling your own mind, like, do you know what I mean? You're like, what about this? And what are they, like, overanalyzing all this fucking shit when you should just be like, just do. And those are the days I find where I'm like, a lot of, like, weird synchronistic shit happens where, like, I get those moments where I'm like, I just cut the noise out and I'm just like, just stop and just do something and just get the chi flowing, you know. Like, movement is medicine. It's not just medicine. Like, movement is life. Life moves, you know. Anything that's dead is still. So, like, it's so difficult sometimes to receive all of the stimulus of life and then process it and then just do, like, you know, not just do what you want to do, but, like, do what you feel like is, like, your purpose and your day-to-day things, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, and I see it in the female as well. It's like everybody has it, you know. Fucking most jobs, like, have a moderate amount of stress involved, you know. And then, like, you could have a job that's, like, really enjoyable and really easy and gives you a lot of fucking, you know, satisfaction, and they treat you very well and stuff. But there's just a guy that you work with that is, like, fucking unbearable for some reason or something, like, you know. It's really interesting to realize that, like, you know, this, like, myth when you're younger of, like, you know, oh, if you can just get to this point and become, in quotes, successful in life, then, like, you know, you've made it and, like, you know, things are easier to deal with. It's like, no, life just gets, like, different. There's different stages to life. It's just like a video game where it's like, this level's like this level's like this level's like that, like, and every level gets more difficult. But if you focus on it, oh, this is getting so hard, then that's what your experience is going to be. But if every time you get to the next level and things get more difficult, you take the attitude of, like, okay, well, this is getting more interesting. So what do I have to do to accommodate for, like, what do I have to do to adapt? What do I have to do to, like, get better at this? Like I had that moment there the other day when I had a moment like that there the other day when I was playing that game Rage 2, which is a moment that isn't in enough games, which is, like, so, like, something that I think should be in every fucking video game, because, like, to me that's, like, the point of a game, where, like, I was presented with a scenario and I went in to deal with the scenario. It's like enemies in a camp or whatever with these given abilities and weapons and stuff, and for the first 4 times I went in, I got my ass handed to me because I was still, like, learning the mechanics of the game, what the game wants me to do, how the game wants me to play, like, so on and so forth. And then the 5th or 6th time I went in, I fucking ran through them like a freight train, and it was glorious looking. It was one of those moments where you do it and you're like, oh, I'm going to clip that. You know? I haven't, like, edited it down on the PlayStation yet, but I'll put it up on YouTube. And it's like, I was debating whether to, you know, put all 4 of the fails first so you can see the difference between me getting it and not getting it, you know? But it's like, it's that that moment of clarity where you're like, oh, I get it now, like, you know, and you just do what you know you should do, and it works, and it feels awesome, right? But there's a step ahead of that where, like, because I've done that with my painting. I'm like, okay, I know what I should do, and I do it, and something awesome happens. You know, I fucking part of me one day was like, it's time I do another big symmetrical again, and then I spent the next few days or weeks like really working on that, and then some guy in France bought it. The next big symmetrical I do is like a year later, and halfway through it, I fucking pull a bitch fit and smash and tear the thing up. Like, the lesson I'm learning the last while is that like, I have this like fucking overwhelming thought, like, you know, a lot of the times now lately, where it's like, just do the stream because people love you doing the stream. You know, they like to hear you talk shit. They like to hear you fucking, you know, give your fucking cosmological fucking opinions and all this stuff and blah blah. Go on rants, and then paint something wacky and play some good tunes. Aces, that fucking works. So just keep doing that, like. But with my actual professional art side, I've been like, but what do I do? Like, do you know what I mean? Because like, I can do anything, and that's not in an arrogant sense. It's like, it's art. I can literally do whatever the fuck I want. Like, do you know what I mean? It's fucking art. Like, I could just be like, well, I'm gonna do this and fucking do it. Like, you know. And there's this weird like selfish conflict in my mind where it's kind of like, well, if I just do what I want to do, you know, if it makes money and I can provide for the female, then that works. But if I do what I want to do and it doesn't provide money for the female, and it doesn't really work, does it? Like, I'm just being a selfish fucking like loser. Um, and that's a problem I face, because like, I could do doodles for 50 quid, that worked. Maybe you should do that again. I could do symmetricals for a couple of 100 quid, that worked. Maybe you should do it again. Like, you know, it's like, I can't do everything. You know. It's like, all right, well then pick one then. It's like, oh Jesus, like the level of fucking self, like something really resonated with me when I was catching up on Owen earlier on. Was like, he was like, sometimes I need a coach. It's like, I've really felt like that for years now, because I don't have a good relationship with my father. Like, I have a father, but I don't. I almost think that's worse. You know, like, if you're a kid that grew up and it's like you've just never had a dad, and you look at other people with a father and you're like, must be nice to have a father, like, do you know what I mean? But like, I have a father, and he's an absolute wanker. Like, like, and not only that, but like, I have a father that, like, you know, like, lied and shit and all, like, you know, like, pathological liar, like, fucking manipulator, like, you know, blatant narcissist, all this fucking stuff, like, really selfish dude, like, and a money hungry and greedy and shit, like, and I don't hate him. Do you know? Like, you'd think I'd hate him, like, do you know what I mean? Like, your average person would be like, yeah, fuck that dude, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, fuck him, blah, blah. But, like, I don't have a victim mentality about it anymore. I used to, like, do you know what I mean? But now I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is, like, you know, like, he's gonna have to deal with the consequences of his decisions. One of them being that his children don't really like him. I mean, how depressing and sad is that? Like, I mean, that's like one of the worst fates a father could face, is that you have children and they don't even really want to, like, have anything to do with you because they think you're a dick. I mean, that's fucking horrible. Like, it's just a crazy situation where I'm kind of like I get left with these moments where I'm like, I have a day where, like, you know, oh god, like, you know, life getting to me, stress, work, fucking, like, what do I do, blah blah, like, you know. And I do have those moments where I wish I could just be like, I wish I could just, like, ring my father and just be like, man, like, what do I do? How did you deal with this at my age? Like, you know, what did you do when you faced a time like this, or whatever? Like, you know, like, none of that. I wouldn't even, like, you know, even if I just went through the motions of like, maybe I should just talk to him and, like, you know, develop a moderate relationship, it would feel fake. It would feel disingenuous. It would feel like I was using him to, like, you know, work out my shadow problems or some shit, like, you know. I think what I did was the best thing I could do. I was like, look, I don't hate you and I forgive you. And I don't, like, you know, I don't hate you. And, like, that was pretty much the last, like, conversation we had, really. Was me being like, I don't hate you. And he's just not really shown interest since. You know, I'd be like, look, I'm doing a stream. Look how ridiculous I look. I'm LARPing as a fucking half Irish, half Japanese demigod on the fucking internet, painting shit, like. And sometimes people only listen to the stream. Doesn't give a fuck, you know? And it is. It's like, on a level, it's like tragic. Because it's one of those things that feels like an awful waste. Considering everything my family went through, considering how it all ended up. Because he wanted to be with it, like, you know, he didn't love my mother anymore or whatever, and he wanted to do things that he wanted to, you know, like, he made decisions, you know, and those decisions really negatively affected loads of people for like 15 years at least, you know. And for his kids to come out of that situation with the attitude of like, whatever, like, you know, I'm not going to waste my time hating you anymore, like that. Like, I really, like, I'm proud of myself and my sister that we actually managed to get to that mindset, that, like, we didn't just stay in the dark, bitter victim mentality and, like, you know, just fucking waste our lives away or whatever, like. And she's like 9 years younger than me, like, you know. But obviously she was able to see me, you know, like, fuck everything up and be like, okay, don't do that. Like, which is great. I love being the big brother, you know. I am a defender. I was supposed to be called Defender Bear. I've always defended shit that I thought was, like, supposed to be defended, you know. And, like, there is an incredible amount of fucking stress and, like, self-imposed obligation that comes with that kind of mentality. Like, that thing that Owen was on about in his last stream, where he's like, he has that warrior vigilante thing. Like, man, I have that in spades. It's one of the reasons I'm so pissed off all the time. You know, even at a young age, in the teenager, you're watching all this stuff on the internet or the telly or whatever. Like, especially with stuff in the, like, just before COVID or around COVID, when, like, Cuties came out on Netflix and all. Like, I ran downstairs to my mother and was like, we need to cancel Netflix. I can't, like, I'm so impulsively, you know, this is not right. You know, like, and then you're like, so am I the only one who gives a fuck? Are you serious? Like, you're my mother, and you're like not gonna cancel the Netflix thing when I point out to you that they're like sexualizing 12-year-old girls, like. And she's like, why would I cancel Netflix? I watch Netflix. You know, like. And like, I have a grand relationship with my mother now, but like for her to be like, you know, like sitting there and intently listening to me while I'm like raking the fucking, like, you know, don't take the jabs, don't do this, it's this and this, like, look at this, like pointing it all out, and her being like, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough, and then just goes and takes it and doesn't tell me. I'm like, I am trying to save your life. And they're just like slitting their own throat, being like, what? I can't hear you. Like, it's profoundly frustrating to do what you think is the right thing to do. Not just think about doing the right thing. To, like, sacrifice parts of yourself. To risk looking like a maniac. You know? To in my case, look like a maniac on the daily. You know what I mean? And but it's like, it's from a place of like, no, this is the way it should be. This is good, true, and beautiful. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and then you fucking do it, and like, it's like, do you know what this kind of is like similar to what I'm talking about, right? I think this is a pretty good, like, stand-in for what I'm trying to say here. The amount of times I've seen the government build a playground just in my area where I grew up, or in an area close to me. The amount of times I've seen the government build a playground, and within days or weeks, somebody lights a fire in it, there's graffiti on things, some things are straight up just pulled apart or destroyed. And I've noticed that, like, I noticed that a few times in my life. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s, like, you know, and then in my 30s again, when they did the park in front of me. And it was a really nice playground. Do you know when the government does something and you're like, oh shit, that's actually, like, really good and wholesome and stuff, like, I used to get filled up with this profound sense of, like, I suppose, what was it, like nihilism and apathy or something, when I'd walk past the playground and I'd be like, oh, they put monkey bars in. Oh, that's cool. Like, you know, fucking, oh, that playground looks like really bright and colorful, and it's like, you know, it has a nice aesthetic to it. It like makes the place. They put some trees around it. Oh, that's deadly. And then the next time you're walking past, there's like scorch marks from a wheelie bin being lit on fire, and there's like graffiti on the slide and shit, like, you know. And I'm just like, why? like, like, why? Like, what would possibly motivate you to do that? Like, do you know? Look, I get it. Like, burn down an embassy. Like, fuck, do something that like kind of makes sense. Direct your, you know, frustration, anger, and all that shit, like, at something that actually kind of like represents the people you're pissed off at. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, no, you're gonna fucking destroy a playground that was put there for kids. Like, it's another level of crazy, like, to witness some of the things that happen in our daily life. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, something that just popped into my mind there, right, as I was saying that, is how many times have you seen hundreds of people, thousands possibly, outside of a store when the new iPhone comes out, and they come out and they like unbox the new iPhone, and there are people there with their iPhones recording someone buying the new iPhone. Like, you're like, I can't wait to get my one. It's so similar to the one I have. Like, you know. And like, it has the bitten apple on it and all. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, when you start looking at symbolism and shit, like, it's incredibly difficult to not, like, to look at the world and not be like, you people are insane. Like, you people are fucking like, I genuinely believe what I said. Was it yesterday, the day before? I can't remember, where it's like, the most common affliction in today's society, in my humble opinion, is hold on while I just use my little mister to squirt the goo on the pallet. The sun is like fucking beaming on the parrot right now, like, so I don't want it to like prematurely dry up the goo while I fucking ramble on and talk shit. Okay, yeah, I've lost my train of thought. Maybe I should just stop rambling. These people are NPCs, brainwashed to the nth. I know, it's crazy. Like, hey, Iron Man Bear. Hey, Dick Ford. Yeah, that's hilarious the way they're all saying it's a miracle that a Jew did manual labor and like paid for something. That's fucking so funny. Rumble just sent out a CEO email to all subs yesterday. The clampdown of global homo is in full swing. Gotta remain vigilant. You make a difference, Alex. Oh, thanks, man. But yeah, they like. So Rumble sent out what, like an email of like what to do with like censorship or some shit? Is it like I've said all sorts of stuff on this stream for the past 2 odd years or whatever, and now YouTube is like, hey, you can't say that. You like it. I'll show you listen to the wording of this. This is fucking crazy, right? This is fucking crazy. They showed me the clip. They like, you know, what do you call it? Time stamped it, and it was at like 15 minutes or something when I was talking about Sudan and the fucking jibba jabbas. And like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't mind, like, I like coming up with like words to get around words that you're not allowed to say and all this shit. Oh, glorious kapoo. But I also find it incredibly tedious and annoying that like we're in a position where we even think that we have to do that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm of the opinion that it's like, no, I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say, like, cause there's nothing I'm saying that's like fucking dangerous, like, you know. and be like, it's the ultimate gaslight when someone tells you that what you just said is potentially dangerous, and you're like, are you fucking serious, you fucking hypocrites? Fucking have no fucking bother putting all sorts of shite on the fucking YouTube, and you got a problem with my shit? Like, of course you do. Of course you do. Why? Because my shit doesn't have any fucking, like, you know, agenda behind it. Well, I suppose it does. I suppose, like, I do have an agenda, which is the opposite to their agenda, you know, which is why it makes perfect sense that happens and shit, like, you know. Oh, they've reviewed my appeal already. Hold on. Where's the other one? Wait till you hear the wording in this. It's fucking crazy. Content that poses a serious risk of egregious harm by spreading medical misinformation. You fucking hypocrites. You absolute gaslighting fucking insane hypocrites. Like, half the shit the fucking, like Pfizer hasn't been fucking sued out the wazoo because half of their drugs they put out fucking make people tweak out and have heart attacks and shit. Like the fucking governments of the world, like, not just the American ones, but like the governments of the world haven't openly admitted decades later that they've just experimented on people who were admittedly stupid enough to take something free, or they were told it was going to do this, or it was a vitamin booster or some shit. It's like, oh yeah, why would they lie? You know, like, oh my god. The fucking neck of these people to tell me, a guy who's painting and just talking and just being like, just speaking my mind. I hold no authority. I hold no titles. I'm not going to make a fucking massive impact. Nobody know. I'm not fucking Asmongold. I don't have like 100,000 people watching my videos every fucking time I put one out. Like, I don't have, you know, thousands of people watching my fucking stream all the fucking time. Like, I don't even make a dent. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, you're not allowed. Like, you do this again and we'll give you a strike and all. Like, do you know what I mean? What a fucking bunch of demons. Absolute fucking demons, like. Like, when it comes to somebody like Owen, it makes sense. Because he's got clout. He's got fucking, like, you know, there's a tension on it. Like, he was a big guy in fucking Hollywood, like, do you know what I mean? But picking on the little guys? Like, I got, what, fucking 33, 40 max watching my videos, and you're gonna fucking tell me I'm not allowed to say something? Like, you scared little bitch. Like, that's what that shows me, is that YouTube, this multi-million-dollar company and all this fucking... You shaking in your boots, scared pussy-ass faggots can't, like, just... Oh, we're gonna make an algorithm that, like, fucking just, like, points out all this fucking shit. Like, if he says this or if he says that or whatever, like, we're just gonna strike... Like, that is the most blatant admittance of your guilt. Do you know what I mean? The blatant admittance of your bought and sold fucking corrupt ticket-taking position. Absolute fucking crazy, like. A strike is a badge of honor and these... I know, but like part of me was laughing. I was like, are you serious? Painting Goose starting to get like... I mean, nobody even knows I'm here. Like, are you fucking serious? Like... But like... Like, I don't think somebody like me should be a fucking influencer. Do you know what I mean? Like, I say some wild shit. Like, but like, I'm not gonna, like, I know I don't say potentially like fucking illegal shit. Well, it depends on who's fucking, like, do you know what I mean? If the Gestapo come back. But like, you cannot say anything against the government. Like, you know, like, I can't believe some places are actually back there right now. Like, do you know what I mean? Fucking Germany arresting people for saying stuff on Twitter. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, oh man. it's only a matter of time before something like mental happens. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I know mental shit is happening all the time, but like there is a palpable like tension building where you have all these people that are just like, okay, so we can't do this, or this. Okay, well let's do our own thing then. You know? Okay, we're doing our own thing. We're grand. Like I don't give a fuck about YouTube. Like I fucking I'll stream on Rumble. I'll fucking switch to OBS if I have to. I'll do whatever to be able to just give you guys painting goo Monday to Friday for a few hours. Like, do you know what I mean? Like whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? I'll fucking like record it on like I'll get Telegram going. I don't give a fuck. But it's just like it's like when people turn around to Owen and they're like, "Oh, don't pay it any heed" or whatever like that. Like, but it's like, but it's Twitter though. You have all the people on Twitter, and I'm trying to like, I'm trying to like, mold fucking uh, group consciousness for the better because I see it being done for the worse. So like, I kind of need to use this tool. Like, I need to be in this space if I'm gonna be effective. I don't give a fuck where I am or if I get like huge or whatever like that. I just want to be able to do my thing, and get telling me that my videos aren't available in this or telling me that my video can't be watched by blah or whatever. Like I don't give a fuck. That's yeah, whatever. Fine. How you have your little rules and your fucking little faggy fucking bitch fits and all that shit. Fine. But like actually just removing it, you know, and that's weird because it's like I'm using Streamlabs, you know. So I suppose I should just like start recording them all or whatever. But like part of me didn't want to start recording this one because it's all choppy and shit. But like I don't know. Um, but they actually just deleted it. Like yesterday's stream is just gone, and you're like, really, nigga? But I suppose it's like what I said. It's like what do you expect when you're dealing with demons? Like, do you know what I mean? If you're fighting something that has no honor, or like not even fighting it. If you interact with something that has no honor, it's just like you're just gonna get fucking bitten like all the time. Like it's just fucking. It is. It's profoundly frustrating. It's profoundly fucking frustrating that like you have all these people like and like I'm of the mind that the internet like really like inflates this sense of like, oh, we're outnumbered by all these crazies. Like no, like I think the reality is that like most people like you could just walk down the street and I'd say it's like I'd say it's probably 50-50. you know you go like I could knock on people's doors in this town and try and sell my art door to door. And I probably would sell some. I've thought about it, but that's a very time consuming thing to do. I'd have to like walk around with a big portfolio thing, which means that I'd have to select some things and put it in the fucking thing, and then I'd have to go around and um, it's not like I haven't done stuff similar to that. Like gone to shops and been like, do you mind if I advertise my painting in your shop or whatever? Some of them have done that. Like there's loads of people in this town that I've interacted with and they're like fucking A1 people. um I don't think the world is full of like don't get me wrong. I mean, like I think I probably would agree with Vox's thing that like most people are idiots, you know and like if the population really has gotten to the stage where it's like 8 billion or some shit like that, like, which is just fucking kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, but yeah, maybe most people alive today right now are like just like utter degenerate shitbags. But most people could be 51%. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because when you look at the reality of it, it's like, oh, most people are idiots. Yeah, but what's the actual like accurate data, on that? And it's like, okay, well, 51.666% of humanity right now is like fucked, no hope, gone, fuck them, and then like the remaining 49.33 or whatever like are like just normal. Like they're not even like really moral or good or whatever, like, they're just like just normal. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it's like that now. I'll see you later, Sabru. Yeah, I might switch to Rumble, but like I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing until like they like completely cut it off or whatever. Like, and then I'm gonna be like, all right, fair enough. Like, but maybe I should like I'm kind of like maybe I should plan ahead or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm so whimsical and just in the moment with a lot of things where I'm like, fuck it, I'll deal with it when I have to deal with it. Like, but like I don't want there to be a thing where like Painting Goo just gets banned one day, and then stupid me has to spend like 3 days trying to fucking set up new accounts and fucking all that shit. No, like it would be handy kind of just to be like, all right, well now I can switch over to Rumble or fucking what are the other ones like Odyssey, Rockfin, fucking I don't know if you can live stream on any of them. I haven't looked into any of that shit. Like, I mean, like part of me thinks it'd be hilarious if I just went back to Instagram. you know, um, like that would be kind of funny. Like, but whatever. Where are we? We're going to Spain. I'm gonna paint a castle. I'm gonna paint a Spanish castle with a nice blue sky. And then I have to stick some zombies and a quantum computer and a fucking and some peas in there. And the thing that just popped into my head was like actual peas, like the letter P's, and not actual peas, like fucking. Why did I say actual peas when I was on with the letter P's instead of actual peas? Isn't like peas, the E or whatever. Now I'm just fucking. I need to center my chi. Fuck. Okie dokie. Painting Goo. Painting Goo. That's mad. Fucking CEO of Rumble coming out and being like, right lads, shit's kicking off. I love mushy peas. Fucking delicious. Mushy peas go really well with like baked potatoes and chicken breast or something. Like, I'm really like literally like meat and potatoes with my diet. Like I love just like very basic stuff. Just like butter, gravy, mash, carrots, ham. Like, you know, like nothing extra, just like raw materials. Like, well, cooked raw materials. Right, let's paint the castle. Let's get these bitches wetto. Boom, boom, boom. have to fix this fucking thing again. If you're wondering what the budget of painting goo is, fucking taping things together. I really like cobalt, but I think the sky blue was like a better mixing blue. I think cobalt's a bit too blue. It's gorgeous, but like that's not a great sky blue in my opinion. I think like a proper sky blue in my opinion is actually more of like an aqua green. I always say aqua green. Aqua green. It's the second I say aqua, my mouth is just like queen. Aqua green. Aqua queen. Oh fuck. I wanted to be a little bit paler than that. There we go. That's nice. Aqua Queen, eh? Nigga turning into Elmer Fudd. Gonna get me some wabbits. Yeah, wabbit. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo goo goo. Beautiful blue sky. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Squirt. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. little bit lower. Painting go, painting go. It's been rob-sided. It is with heavy heart to inform that next week I shall be absent in the Goo Rag Chat. The side hustler in Pittsburgh beckons me again this year. Yeah? What are you doing in Pittsburgh? Stabbaroo is going to have a whale of a time having way much more honor than you for a week. Okay. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Painting goo goo. Painting goo goo. You should. Car parts inventory at various car dealerships in the area. Lots of counting and standing. Oh, glorious. Counting and standing. Ugh. I always thought it was funny when you see those like inventory dudes in the grocery store where you're fucking you see them with their little like, it's not a calculator, it's like it's like a input recorder device or something, like, and like they'll like look down the shelf to see how many things of a particular item, like, and they're just like click 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 click. It's just like, I've seen, like, you see them on YouTube, but you've seen them in fucking who's ringing me now? Actually, it doesn't matter if they're ringing me. My mic doesn't work. 2 seconds. Obviously somebody who doesn't know that I'm streaming right now, obviously. Or maybe they do. Boom, 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 boom. Who is this? Hope that delivers. Sure it will. Could just be a scan for all I know, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't delivered. That's probably my end, though. Just give me 2 seconds to deal with this. Who the fuck is this? Oh, this looks like it could just be a fucking scam or something. Painting. Who the fuck is this? Watch it. Hello, buddy. I just wanted to talk to you about a super helpful opportunity. Painting. Okay. Colour I wanted, but fuck it, it'll do for the moment. Painting, goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting, goo goo. Painting, goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting, goo goo. Stuff like that always makes me laugh. When you open something and it's like thump or pop. Yeah, it's kind of like it's very impressionistic already, isn't it? Paintingu. Paintingu. It doesn't look like Spain so much as like a different version of Minas Tirith or something like that. It doesn't look like Spain at all. Paintingu. Just put in a bull chasing a zombie matador and there you have it, Spain. The hat would kill me. The hat would never let me let it go. Oh, glorious. Painting goo 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 goo. Paint, paint. Painting goo goo goo. Goo, 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 goo. Still going, I see. I was literally about to call it a day. I just put the clouds in. I was just like, right, I'm done. Painting goo goo goo. Right. Painting goo has arrived in Spain. This concludes today's painting goo. For new. My beloved Japanites. I never descended to proper painting goo posture. How dare I? Profoundly rude of me. My beloved Japanites, I hope you have enjoyed today's painting goo, including Rantu. I shall return, God willing, Monday to Spain, and we shall engage in the creation of a quantum computer, some zombies, and some peas, some Spanish peas. Holy smokes, you did that quickly. Wow, was nothing on the canvas when I left. I strapped it together. Behold, a castle in Spain. Pay for painting goo. Painting goo goo. Right. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Don't make it too weak of an end, if you get my drift. Be good, be true, and be beautiful. And I shall see you Monday for more painting goo. In the meantime, God bless. Sayonara.